Hello there, I'm the Gaming Fan. Welcome back to Freeloaders. So before I talk about this game called Remnants of the Precursors, I would like to tell you a fact real quick. Not really a fun fact, but it's a fact nonetheless. So society has evolved very quickly, right? And so has technology, and so has video games. And because of this, our brains have been overstimulated, and some of us fought against it, and some of us need stimulation to our brains all the time. And so for some people, it's hard to get into certain games because of how fast we want our brains stimulated. If this game doesn't appear to be fun enough within a set amount of time, our brains immediately tell us to stop playing it because it's not stimulating it enough. I think that's how that works. Anyways, the reason I say this is because I don't think Remnants of the Precursors is a bad game. In fact, I really doubt it is. I think it probably is a great game, but I have a hard time telling whether it is or is not, because despite the fact that I've played through a game, I still didn't exactly know what I was doing. I think I did, but I still didn't really have any clue. Basically, it's a strategy game, and the reason I wanted to pick a strategy game for this Freeloaders episode is because I felt like I wasn't covering enough genre variety in Freeloaders. So before we got to episode 50, I wanted to cover at least one more strategy game. I'm not even sure if I have a strategy game in this series, but I wanted to do it nonetheless. So Remnants of the Precursors looks like a pretty fun game. It's got tons of races you can choose from, or factions, whatever. It's got like technology research, like a lot of strategy games do. And although a lot of it's implemented well, the problem is when you start the game, it basically dumps like 3 pages of tutorial on you, and you're expected to get it. But even when they try to explain things to you, they explain things to you quite poorly. It's almost like telling you what something does to you, but not telling you how to actually fix it or work with it. It doesn't really give you a good tutorial at all. You kind of just are flopped into a game and told to go on your merry way. That's pretty much it. It's like it just dumps the entire game on you at once and says, alright, have fun. So this isn't exactly as much of a review as I usually do. More of, hey, why don't you play this game and tell me if I'm an idiot? Because I really do think this is just my overstimulated brain not wanting to take the time to learn the game properly. But, at the same time, the tutorial made here was not good. This has to be fixed in the future. I'm just saying, if you want to attract new players, now you could just say, oh, you're being impatient, or whatever. But the reason I said the fact at the beginning is because this is true for a lot of people. A lot of people need, in that first 10 minutes, a good impression, and that tutorial was a terrible first impression. However, the amount of factions I saw that you could pick from was a good impression. And one of my favorite features of the game is the ability to make your own ship schematics. It's almost like, picture Pick 10 from the Call of Duty games. Essentially like that, you allocate points into a certain part of a ship that you can make a schematic for. And you can use technology to improve your schematics over the course of a game. And so if you want a really combat-focused, ship, you could put a lot of your points, or all your points, into like lasers and nuclear missiles. Right? You can just put all kinds of turrets and stuff on your ship. And there's also the idea of discovering new planets. And I do like that the board is small enough to where it wasn't too confusing. I picked a small board. You could make it bigger through the options. You can increase difficulty and whatnot. The game has a lot of features. It has a lot of content. But I didn't know how to play the game properly. But luckily, it didn't seem like too hard of a game to grasp. Honestly, if I went back, played one more game, I could maybe get the gist of it. Maybe. But you might want to go play it for yourself. Obviously, there's a link in the description. I leave one in the description for every game I cover on Freeloaders, if I can help it. But also getting to this game in the first place was a pain. Maybe that's why I'm kind of salty about it. I kept looking into strategy games that weren't demos or like projects to come or whatever. Just a free game. It was harder to find than you would think. I'll talk about that in the next Freeloaders notes I'm going to make. I will make one before episode 50. The game is good, but this is more of a suggestion for you to go play it for yourself. Because I don't think I'm the kind of person who should be talking about this game. Because, like I said, my brain is very overstimulated. Not that I can't play a strategy game. I've loved certain strategy games. Like I always talk about Civilization. Smite is a very strategical game. I know it's a MOBA, but it's definitely a strategy game. Plague Incorporated, although the concept and the actual execution was pretty simple. But that is going to do it for me on this Freeloaders episode. It was a lot less talking about the game and more telling you why I'm not the right person to play it. But that's okay. You can go play it for yourself, and who knows, you may love it. This may be your next favorite game. I can see its potential there. I just have to, kind of get used to it. Maybe look some stuff up a little bit. But anyways, if you enjoyed it, then I'm glad you had fun. So that's going to do it for me. Be sure to tune in next time when we get taken to hell. Yeet.